This is the Redmi A3 and it is the cheapest Redmi phone of 2024. I got my unit here for 98,000 naira, and if you do the math, that's way below $100. Now for that price, you are getting a phone with a glass back, a large 6.7-inch display with a 90Hz refresh rate. It also has a 5000 mAh battery and it is running on the latest Android 14. You're also getting a side-mounted fingerprint scanner, all on this budget phone. While all that I've mentioned are great features, the phone is an entry-level phone and it falls short in some aspects. There is also one important thing you need to do the moment you get this phone out of the box, and we are going to talk about that before the end of this video. Let us dive deeper and share everything you need to know about the phone, starting with the accessories you get inside the box of the phone. The box is similar to what we got with the Redmi 13C that was released earlier, a mixture of red and white. Inside the box, you get a 10-watt charger, a USB-C cable, a SIM ejector tool, user guide and manual, and you also get the phone itself. There is no silicone TPU case in the box, and finding a case for this phone is definitely going to be difficult. I'm going to scout the internet, and if I find any good case for the Redmi A3, I'm going to leave it in the description of this video. The phone is made of glass at the back, and as far as I'm concerned, I don't know any phone that costs below $100 with a glass back. The frames of the phone are made of plastic, and the back design makes this phone look bold and unique. The large camera ring at the back of this phone is what we have seen on the back of the Xiaomi 14 Ultra, and it's quite impressive that this design is making it down to entry-level phones. I love how my fingers rest at the back of the camera ring of the phone. It just feels comfortable. Personally, I don't like or dislike the design, and I want to know your opinion in the comments. What do you think about the display of this phone? Also, I'm thinking of comparing this phone with the Redmi 13C, and if that is something that is going to interest you, I would like to also know in the comment section. And in case I get to make the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you're going to be among the first people to see that video. It has a side-mounted fingerprint scanner, and for the price of this phone, I think it's fast. The volume key is slightly above the fingerprint scanner, and by the left side of the phone, we have the SIM card tree that supports 2 SIM cards and an SD card. It has a single speaker at the top, and the sound is quite decent. There is also a headphone port at the top, and the phone charges through a USB-C port at the bottom, and just beside that you are going to get a microphone for calls. In terms of design, I'm going to say the phone has some character, and it is one of those phones that if you hold outside, people are going to notice it because of the large camera ring. Turn the phone up front, and that is where you begin to see the reason why the phone is cheap. Before we get to that, the size of the display is 6.71 inch, and it also has a 90Hz refresh rate with a 720p resolution. When you buy the phone, by default it is set to 60Hz refresh rate, and you have to go into the settings of the phone to switch it to 90Hz refresh rate. The 90Hz refresh rate definitely makes scrolling feel better and a bit faster on the phone. It has some thick and noticeable bezels, especially the chin at the bottom of the phone, and this display is giving me some serious 2022 vibes. This is one aspect that you're going to know that this is a cheap and entry-level phone. The display is responsive to touch, and you can stream YouTube videos at 1080p on the display. Outdoors, it is not the brightest, and you need to set the display brightness to max to be able to see it. What I do is just set it on auto, and each time I'm under the sun, the brightness just goes up and I'm able to see it without looking for the brightness slider. It is an okay display for a phone that costs less than 100k, and I don't really see anything I can complain about the display of this phone. What about software? The phone is running on Android 14 Go edition, and you're not getting a full-fledged Android 14 experience on the phone. But if you put some things into consideration, this phone running on Android 14 actually means a lot, because the Redmi 13C that was released earlier, even though Android 14 was ready, isn't running on that version. MIUI is the user interface on this phone, and the moment you get this phone out of the box, there is a software update, and if you want to enjoy using it, you need to run that update immediately. Before I updated mine, it was laggy and it took some time to load some apps and games. The user interface on this phone definitely feels different, because I've used the Redmi 13C and the Redmi Note 13 that were running on Android 13, and they didn't look like this. I'm sure if they get the upgrade to Android 14, they might look even better than this. There are a few thoughtful features to explore in the settings of the phone, including having fun tweaking how the speaker of this phone sounds. You can also increase the RAM of this phone to 6 gigs using some storage space on the phone, and the phone also supports multiple user login. I'm sure there are a lot of people that are fond of using that feature to kind of hide their main phone, and maybe if someone wants to play with their phone, they can just log into the other side that is empty. Multitasking on this phone is a problem, and it doesn't support any form of split screen. In fact, if you load a lot of apps on this phone, they are going to crash frequently. It is a Go Edition Android phone, and it simply means that it's not going to be as fluid as possible. There are times when animation even slow down this phone, and there's an option in the settings to turn off the animation. The phone is powered by the MediaTek Helio G36, and my unit here has 3 GB RAM with 64 GB storage space. Now there's a variant out there with 4 or 6 GB RAM and up to 128 GB storage space. If you intend to buy this phone, then I urge you to go for the variant with higher RAM and storage, because it's definitely going to perform a bit better. Performance isn't a strength of this phone, and while it's going to work smoothly for someone who just pick calls and maybe casually surf the web, it is not going to work for someone who demands a lot from a phone, like someone who is constantly using his phone. It runs games like Candy Crush and sometimes Subway Surfer smoothly, but games like Call of Duty and PUBG are going to struggle on this phone. Anyways, if you want me to do a gaming test of this phone, I would like to know in the comment section, and I think with 200 likes, that video might come out. The Helio G36 is built on a 12nm architecture, and by 2024 standard is not really a strong chipset. But when you consider the price you are paying and the performance you are getting from this phone, then the question becomes, can you really ask for more? Let's talk about the cameras. There are 2 cameras at the back of this phone with a primary 8-megapixel picture and a second AI auxiliary lens. Up front, you get a 5-megapixel selfie camera, and don't buy this phone to take good pictures. I'm not surprised though, because it is an entry-level phone. There is also some noticeable lag when you tap on the shutter button in the camera app. The pictures from the primary camera of this phone are quite okay, even though color accuracy is quite lacking. HDR is also quite off in the pictures. To get the best possible picture quality out of this phone, you need to be in an environment that is well lit, and you also need to hold the phone steady while snapping the picture. There is portrait mode, and I'm quite satisfied with the background blur in the pictures. Images from the front-facing camera is quite okay, and the background blur is also quite fine with the portrait mode. Just know that the cameras here are not going to impress you, so don't go in buying this phone expecting to get super amazing cameras. Here is a video sample from the front and back camera. This is a video with the front-facing camera of the Redmi A3. Let me know what you think about the quality of the video in the comment section of this video. The battery here is 5000 mAh, and it is one of the best things about the phone. It can last for a whole day and more depending on how you use the phone. It takes around 2 hours to charge the phone from 0 to 100, and the battery life on this phone is impressive, and you are not going to have any problem while using it. Rounding up, the Redmi A3 is not a super powerful phone, but for the basic tasks, it's going to handle them nicely. You are getting a great design, good battery life, and performance for the price. It is lacking in terms of camera, and software isn't also very fluid. Overall, it's just an entry-level phone, and it's going to be perfect as a backup phone or a phone that you don't go very hard on. If you have any question, ask them in the comment section, and you can go ahead and click the video showing on your phone right now to see me talk about the Redmi Note 13 Pro.